Long ago is it since a picture like this would have been either abhorred or ridiculed. But today, the education of small children in methods of self-preservation is recognized as a humane proceeding.
U.S. citizen returning to the United States in the previous 14 days will be subject to up to 14 days of mandatory quarantine.
It's the Quarantine Call-In Show. This is Laura Grant with Timothy Lovett, Kim DeShields, and our very special guest tonight, Nicky Sunshine. I love that picture of you, by the way. That is
Thank
gorgeous.
I'm
Wow.
so glad I shaved my underarms for that. Because I had pictures where I was like, I'm sexy. And it's just like, no, you really are bushy. You're not sexy at all.
We live in Western Mass.
Thank you for that. That's why I'm saying it. Thank you for that.
Well, we live in Western Mass where
all
bushy,
of you?
Yes.
Kim, you moved there?
Well, this is where I'm from. I moved back from New York.
Oh, I thought you were in Connecticut.
No, but I do like Connecticut, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yes, but bushy is the norm here. It's kind of a way of life, I guess. So you would be very in, but I appreciate the shaved personally. Okay, so where do we go from there? I don't know, but welcome, Nicky, and thank you for coming on our show. We're so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be in everybody's home. These are some fancy homes. Laura, your background looks wonderful.
Thank
Kim
you.
looks like she's in a New York shelter. I don't know where Kim is with a rocking chair. You got a damn rocking chair in a shelter environment. Tim looks like he has a mattress up against the wall. I don't know what's going on.
Yo, it's funny.
I would like to be invited to your home. I don't know about
You could always come here and lay on the couch.
You know, it's funny because Kim gave me those curtains that you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny.
You ever met somebody who give you something and every time they come over and be like, oh, I see you treating my curtains bad, or, you know, it's still they stuff, but it's just at your house.
Shame on you, Kim. Shame.
You know what? I'm leaving this fucking meeting.
We walked right in. Now, Nicky has described herself, and I think it's an apt description, as a Renaissance woman. Nicky, you didn't start as a comedian, right? You started as, like, you were doing all kinds of different things. And can you want to talk about how this all came to be?
Well, I started when I was younger. When I was in high school, I wanted to be in the performance arena. And I got a scholarship to go to the Folger's Shakespeare Library in DC to study there, to study Shakespeare in high school, but my high school wouldn't let me. So anyway, I was really interested in performance studies, you know, acting, and also languages. I really love languages and mimicking different people. I like being different people. Even in my stand-up, you know, I'm always doing some type of accent or something like that. So I studied Spanish. I studied German. I lived in Germany for a while. I went to school in Chicago and I studied, that was my major. Wow. I graduated from Northwestern. I got my major was in German. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I don't really want to be in academia. I want to pursue, you know, a career in performing. And so I worked in sales at AT&T for a year or two in DC. And then I moved to New York. And then that's when my life fell apart. So
let's talk about it. I know it's been a hard journey, right? You came to New York around, you said, what was that, 2002, 2000? Yeah. Right after 9/11.
I've been wandering in the wilderness ever since. I mean, nobody gives you a real blueprint to try to make it in comedy, as you know. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's very competitive. And if you don't have a strong sense of self and you don't have, you know, a strong sense of self-confidence, you're going to doubt, you're going to get off track. And I'm a little bit scatterbrained, and I used to like alcohol a lot and to smoke weed. And so I got into some different, you know, life paths and relationships that were really just not good for my trajectory.
Understood. But you know, and I think that's what makes your shows so powerful in so many ways, the different things that you've done. The one thing I really want to talk about, but I don't want to go too far up, is the Confessions of a massage parlor Madam that you created and
Yeah.
performed. Can we talk about that a little
Yes,
bit?
let's talk about it. Let's
Okay.
talk about it.
Because the accent is right on point.
Yes. So it's so many different ways to start talking about this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, okay, so I had a friend in Brooklyn. I met her at a catering gig because I used to cater waiter. I did some off-Broadway shows, Platinos and Collard Greens and different things. But really, I was just an actor trying to find my way and get these different gigs that weren't full-time gigs. So a friend of mine, we had been catering together. I met her in Times Square and she said, oh, I'm going to start a business where I'm going to do pedicures, where I go to a client's home and I give them a pedicure, and that's my service. Do you want to come with me and we'll be like a team, and you'll do massage and I'll do pedicures? And I said, sure. I said, why not? That sounds good. Let's try it. And she said, okay, well, we have a client. And I remember this was the first appointment we ever went on. It was like Central Park West. It was a man, it was an older, like a middle-aged guy. He had 2 big white dogs, I remember. And we went into his apartment, and it was a fancy apartment. We were like, okay, this is nice. And so he was, very gracious. And so he was kind of expecting us to get comfortable, and we didn't really know what that was. We were dumb. We didn't really know what we were supposed to do. So she gave him the pedicure, and I was like, okay, I can rub your back if you want. He was kind of disappointed. He was like, no, that's okay. He gave us $115 a piece. We hadn't even been there for 20 minutes.
Wow.
We left. When he closed the door, we were like, God, we got money. And so it was kind of like, that was weird. Like, that's all we had to do. And then it kind of progressed into, with that friend, she went her separate way. And then what happened with me was I was looking for, I saw things in the back of the Village Voice, and I didn't really know. And there was a place that said massage. And so they were like, make $1,000 in a week. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I went to the interview, and they were like, do you want to start today? And I was like, well, I don't really have any training. I need training. And they were like, no, you really don't. And I was like, well, don't tell me what to do. They were being very vague. And afterwards, I told my grandmother, I was like, I went to this place and blah, blah, blah. She's like, don't go back to that place. Well, a year later, I went back to that place, and I started working right there on 31st and 8th at a place called Massage to Go. And the lady that owned it was Anya. The place was a dump, and clearly it was, a rub and tug. And so it was really a place filled with all these different girls from all over the world, and some of them were weird. All of them had problems, and I started working at this place, and it really became addictive. I would be there from the morning until the night, making money, this and that. And then I kind of spun off of that and started my own business 2 blocks away. And so it just progressed from there.
So how old were you when this started happening? Because I feel like you were so naive, at the very beginning of it.
How old? I think, because that was 2006. I probably was at least in my mid-20s. It had to be 26. 27. I should have known better. Anybody else would have been like, oh no, I'm not going back there. This is weird. But, it was also, there's a side of me that's very, how shall I say, underground. Very,
you're edgy.
Yeah, edgy, edgy. And it was a very, very, it was an interesting time to meet all these different girls, but then to make fast money and meet all these different people, I guess, I really kind of enjoyed the lifestyle as well. So
that part, the whole thing about living in New York, it can be incredibly difficult if you don't have enough money. And I guess it sounds like a great, oh, wow, I don't mind this. And it can be great. But the thing is, when you get into these different lifestyles, and I'll just say hustling, because hustling can fall into many different categories. It could be working in a strip club. It could be a massage girl. It could be prostitution. It could be dealing drugs. It could be gambling. When you get into a routine and a habit of hustle and getting fast money, it's very hard
not to get caught up in that and sucked
Yep.
into that, because when you're getting fast money like that, that's what's important. You don't see anything else. It's almost like a drug. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
It's addictive. It's like, I'm up in the morning, this is what I'm thinking about, and I'm doing it until late at night, and everything else, that has to take a back seat, because this is what's in my face right now, and this is what I'm focused on. And then months turn into years, and
Yep.
you just think, well, damn, what happened to my time?
Right.
It's yeah.
I give you a lot of credit, because I feel like when folks get stuck in that hustle, it's almost as if they feel like I can't have a normal job anymore. I'm not
Yeah.
that person,
Yeah.
And
It
you're
really
able to see
like
your way through that,
Mhm. Yeah.
I have a quick question, please. Sorry.
Yeah,
What-
yeah.
What's a rub and tub?
A
What's that?
rub and tug.
Hug.
Tug. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
A
tug.
rub and
Okay.
tug is like a business, like a massage business, where it's a massage, but then it's masturbation at the end.
Where
So
he
that's why they
touches
call
himself.
it a rub and a tug.
Like
Like
a
erotic,
happy ending.
yeah, happy
she
ending, like
touches him.
erotic
Oh my.
massage. Yeah.
Okay. all right.
Okay, Kim. There's these birds and there's these bees.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up, yo.
But
I tell you, I would think that you would be learning a little bit more in that shelter where you at.
Woo! Oh my goodness.
but the thing about the hustle is, I will say that the thing about the hustle is like you're trying to work a 9 to 5 after that, and you're like, man, I could have just made this money in 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I
Exactly.
could have just, what I mean, and did what I want and hung out with my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so the thing about the hustle is like to go back to a 9 to 5 is you really have to be disciplined to make short money
Yep.
over a long period.
Yes, yep. That's very true. And it's really a shame, because sometimes I think like, man, what if during that time, if I could go back in time, what if I had really focused more on my comedy? Or what if I really tried harder to get a better agent or a better management? Then like, where would I be? But, and even now I do it because I think about because now I focus primarily on my voiceover career.
Mhm.
And I've been doing voiceover professionally since 2012. And I think like, well, what if I had the focus that I have now in 2012? How much further along would I be? But I mean, you can't live your life with regrets, and certainly you can't go back in time. Hindsight is 2020. I mean, I made some money, but does it justify those years that I lost? No. And also, the people that were so close to me during those years, I don't even really talk to them. I don't even talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, well, what did I really walk away from? I mean, what do I really come out of that period gaining? So sometimes I think about that. And I just try to just stay positive and say, I learned a lot, and also try to turn a negative into a positive and use my show as a platform to kind of inform people about the dangers of sex work and sex trafficking, and also to highlight, to young women that it's not really worth it. You can choose something else, and it's okay, and really try to reach out to the youth, because it seems that with the youth, everything, their values are so focused on, money and different things like that. And it's like, you got to value your safety in your life, because
Mhm.
you can die, so.
I mean, for what it's worth, it seems like you were surviving, and you also have this richness in terms of all the characters that you do that I don't know. I wonder if you would have that richness had you not been through what you've gone through.
Yeah, and I met a lot of people, different people from different backgrounds, and I like to think that I can get along with all types of people,
Yeah.
from all walks of life. So, we become adults, and it's kind of embedded in us, succeed and go for career and money and retirement and security. But, life is really a journey that unfolds, and you learn different lessons along the way. And, you just try to do the best you can. And really, whatever bad happens, whether it's a divorce, whether it's assault, whatever it is, you have to use your experiences and build on it to just move forward as a better person in your journey. So,
Well, I definitely see that in you. There's a champion that found her way through this. So I want to redirect us back to this show, because I am so impressed by it, because you come out, and you're not doing the show right now, right? It's what year did you put the show out?
I started the show, I guess it was like in 2000. What was that? Was it 2015?
Yeah.
I started doing it, I think in maybe 2017.
Okay.
And then I just started building on it and building on it, and it evolved. And I've done it at, National Black Theater.
Mhm.
I've done it at downtown at some theaters downtown, different places. And, the audience really seems to, they like the transparency, because when you can really be transparent, because we all struggle with something, whether it be a gambling addiction or, people like it when you're just truthful.
Yeah.
And, I think people really relate to that, because everybody goes through something in life, but you just got to keep going, that's it. So.
Absolutely. So aside from that one, you were also doing music for some time as well, right? That's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, I was a foreign exchange student in Germany, in Munich, for a year, and I don't even know where I met these people. I think I was out at a club, and I met these producers, and they were like, "Oh, do you sing?" And I said, "Yeah, I sing." I mean, I wasn't not formally trained, but I started working with these people in Germany, and it was pretty much a joke. It was like I was just doing it because I was there. And they formed this group that we were called KJ19. We were corny as hell. It was like Spice Girls that's just limp and lame. It was really like, we were going to hip hop dance classes looking stupid, couldn't dance. Some of us couldn't sing. And it was like 3 of us, and we recorded a soundtrack for a movie. I actually was, I don't know if you remember this guy. His name was John, the Scat Man.
Yes.
And
yeah.
he had the song, "Bree, bop, bada, bop." It was like
Yes.
big in Asia and Europe, but nobody gave a damn here in the United States. Anyway, I was on his album. But the weirdest thing I just discovered several months ago, I had helped write this song, this one particular song. So I looked up the song, and it was my voice, but these white girls were like the front men of the song. And I was like, who the hell are these people? And the group, it's a group called Innocence.
Huh.
Justin Timberlake's mother managed the group.
Oh my goodness.
Britney Spears was in this group, and then she left. And I was like, well, wait a minute. They Milli Vanilli'd me. And I was like, oh, you know what? This makes sense, because the producers that I worked with, they actually produced Milli Vanilli's first album. Remember, Milli Vanilli, they're from Germany.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
So how can I get paid? Because I didn't get credit for this. And it was like a couple songs and an actual soundtrack. And so I started researching the producers I worked with, and I was like, holy cannoli, these people are like millionaire, like big. They work with everybody. Like, I found out that one of the producers, he lives in LA now. He co-wrote All of Me with John Legend.
Wow.
He's with Kelly Clarkson, all of these big names. And I was like, shit, I want to try to get paid. So I contacted lawyers. I called to Germany. They have something that's kind of like ASCAP, where songwriters and stuff, and they were like, well, we don't have any record of you and all of this stuff. And so I've been trying to figure out, how can I get paid or get in touch with this producer if he will give me any money. But anyway, so that's my story. The songs, in my opinion, are on a scale of 1 to 10, I say about a 6.4. So, but I would like to get an unexpected 20, 30,000 from them, but I don't know how to get paid.
Yeah, we have some entertainment lawyers that watch us. John Bradley, if you see this, or anybody else that can help. The one thing that I'm thinking of just off at the top of my head, and I'm not an attorney and I'm not giving legal advice, but if you have any recordings of yourself from that time singing it.
Yeah, I do. I have tape cassettes. We still have that. I have tape cassettes and some things.
That's kind of like the poor man's way of copywriting.
Yeah.
To do that. But that's, wow. I had no idea about that part. So good. Wow. That's crazy. Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
I know, right?
It's such a weird story.
I know.
I know. Wait, so can you hit us with some with a little bit of German?
Also, ich habe in München gelebt. Ich habe in Studentenstadt gelebt und ich habe gar nichts gelernt, aber ich habe viel Bier getrunken. So I said, I lived in a place called Studentenstadt. I didn't really learn much, but I drank a lot of beer.
Okay.
Why
Wow,
German?
yo. Wow.
That was pretty good. But why
That was-
German? Why did you pick German as your language? I'm just
Well,
curious.
I had studied Spanish since since the 7th grade. And so I really love Spanish. I love Spanish a lot. And so then when I was in high school, I started taking German, I think like in the 10th grade. I don't even know what made me want to start learning it. I just kind of liked mimicking accents. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do this. And so then when I went to college, the only reason why I wound up in Germany was because I didn't really like my college experience. And there was a nice lady from Switzerland. Her name was Franziska Lies. She still works at the school. And she's like, she recommended this program. And I was like, well, okay, maybe I'll do it. So it wasn't even something that I was really passionate about. It was just kind of like, well, I'm not having a great time here, so I might as well go on an adventure. And that's exactly what it was. Because I spent my 21st birthday in a refugee camp with 2 Africans from Liberia and somewhere. It was just a really strange, crazy ass time.
Wow.
In Germany too.
You have some stories.
I know. Wow.
And unfortunately, substances have a lot to do with these stories.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if you're going to drink, the beer, it's there.
If you're going to drink and smoke, you might as well meet some refugees along the way.
Of course. Wow. I mean, if we look at you if anyone searches you for the internet right now, they're going to find a whole bunch of different YouTubes, just like I did when I was looking you up. And one of my favorite things that you do is this thing with, it's called Cooking Real.
Oh, yeah.
What's your partner's name in that? Is it
Danielle Carrington. Yeah.
These are the most hilarious videos. When did you start doing those?
Oh gosh, I've been working with Danielle because we have a channel called Let's Get Greedy where we do funny food reviews, and it's similar. You guys know Chris Clark and the guy Dame that does all the. So we kind of collaborated and did some stuff with them, but every now and again, Danielle and I would say, "Hey, let's do a spoof on this," or like we even pretend to be those lunatics, Diamond and Silk. The Republican women, we like make fun of them and stuff like that. So we just like really kind of slapsticky, over the top kind of foolish humor. But I think, I was telling Laura this earlier, like really, I have no concept of time. I've been doing different things for so long and my memory's messed up because I used to smoke weed. I don't know if it was 2006 from 2018, it's like all the same to me.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's all during that time period. So I couldn't even tell you when I think it was, because this is 2020. I think Danielle and I started working together maybe in like 2014 or something like that.
The Sock It To Me cake is hilarious. Like it's so bad. It's like we shouldn't be talking about domestic violence or intimate partner violence, but it's so funny.
And you know what? I'm realizing this, and it took me a long time. Probably I just started realizing it in quarantine because you sit down and you have time to reflect, and you say, you know what? None of the comedy that I've ever done could ever make it on TV. It just nobody. I mean, because it's just so inappropriate and so dumb that this couldn't be on mainstream. It couldn't even be on cable. So I had to really have a talk with myself and say, well, what category of comedy is this? I don't really know. I can't even really classify it. I guess I'll have to keep thinking about it until 2021.
It's hilarious. You also partnered up with Phyllis doing Jew's View and Mrs. Steinberg, right?
Yeah,
that's another one.
Yeah.
Miss Steinberg. I mean, that's another one that I find hilarious because your chemistry is so good with each other.
Yeah, I was telling you, Phyllis, I meet different people from all different walks of life. Just like I said, I can get along with it. And my mother at my wedding, she looked out at the guests and said, "Wow, this is just a sea of misfits." She was like, my daughter will be friends with a rock. I mean, not to discredit my friends because they fit a spectrum, but Phyllis is a very sweet comedian from Philadelphia. and she's just so passionate. She's like, I don't know anybody else is as passionate about comedy as she is. She's 77 years old. She'll travel 2 hours for an open mic. She'll fly from Arizona to New York just to do spots for a week.
Wow.
I mean, she's incredible, and I really enjoy collaborating with her. We actually had a whole bunch of different skits that we were going to do. One was about, I think it was about, I can't even remember. It was a bunch of different stuff, but she's great. I love you. Shout out to Phyllis. Hi, Phyllis. How are you doing, sweetie?
Phyllis's last name I forget now. Is
Boren.
Voren. Yeah, hilarious. And you've done so much good work with her, and you know, I don't know where it stops with you. You're doing radio. You did Mornings with D Lemon for a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did. That was kind of like a pilot. I think he was pitching to True TV and stuff. We got to work with a lot of cool comedians, Phoebe Robinson, Charlemagne the God.
Wow.
We worked with Hannibal Buress. We did Alana Glazer. It was a lot. Who else did we work with? Vladimir Camaño, a lot of different artists doing sketches and stuff. It was just a really great time, but it seems like I have a short attention span when it comes to things. So I'll start doing something and start doing something else and be like, oh shit, I forgot about, I like some of the stuff I didn't even, I was like, Miss Steinberg, what is she talking about? Oh yeah, I forgot I did that. So I just keep moving on to the next thing. So now I'm working, I'm hosting an online show called Disrupt Aging with AARP. I'm not 50 yet, but for some reason I'm hosting this, excuse my language, I'm hosting this show. I don't know how I got the opportunity, but anyway, so we do once a month. We do it's only like a 10-minute comedy Zoom, and then it's an interview with the comedian. So I do that once a month, and that's a lot of fun. And I'm at a new R&B and hip hop station. It's classic R&B and hip hop, and it's called 108 Soul. It's www.108soul.com. And so I'm a personality on the station. I do a lot of I voice a lot of their commercials and stuff, and it's just a really great experience to be able. I love R&B music, and to reach a different audience, because now that we're in quarantine, you can't do shows, so you have to kind of be funny in different outlets.
Yes, I agree. Wow. So it's the Quarantine Call-In Show. Welcome to all the people who are watching and joining us through Zoom tonight. If anybody has any questions for Nicky Sunshine, please come through. And I've noticed a couple comments on our site right now from MJ Smith, another very famous DJ from, I believe he's still in Miami, saying, get that smoney.
Get that money,
yeah.
Money.
Shmoney. See,
I have a
shmoney.
question for Kim. I want to know, which strain is that? Chronic that you have, or is that Bubba Blue, or I want to know, is it edibles? Those are my questions for Kim.
Are you implying that I've been smoking today?
Not at all. No, I'm implying anything. No, I'm just. No, okay. Kim, I was telling Laura about how when the last time I saw you, I had bombed so bad in that room in the Bronx.
Oh my God.
Remember? I remember. I was like, when I threw out my opening joke that works everywhere, and the people in the audience were just sitting there like, I knew it was going to be a bad night. I started to panic. I felt so stupid.
That is so painful. I wish I knew which one. I bombed in a few rooms in the Bronx. Dang. Whew.
You did well that night, though. This was in Harlem with Ken Black.
Oh yeah, I remember that spot. That was a nice little spot there. Yeah. Wow. You know what? It's comedy can be really scary. Like you don't know what's gonna happen when you go out there. You just have no idea.
And I don't even know what year that was.
That
it
felt
could be
maybe
2009. It could be 2017. I wouldn't know. It's all.
I want to guess maybe 2015-ish.
Okay. I'll have to be
2014.
But actually, I had a this story is funny, but then it turns really bad in the end. So I don't know if I would, because we're talking about bad shows, and I was going to be like, hey guys, tell me about the worst show you've ever had. And this show turned into an emergency room visit.
Oh,
No, maybe the audience doesn't want to.
come on, let's hear it.
Oh yeah, I want to hear this.
Oh, this was so horrible, guys.
Oh.
This was so horrible. First of all, you never want to drink vodka and mix that with the energy, like not a Red Bull type of energy drink, but like a powdered something that you would get from GNC. This is not going to turn out well. So I had like 6 glasses of wine and I had this whatever powder agent because I was really going to the gym hard, and I mixed this stuff together. And I went to this show. Clipper Man, I think, booked me. I don't know if you ever heard of Clipper Man.
Yeah, of course.
He's a comedian out of Detroit, but he was working with this like network of people, and it was in a nightclub. First of all, comedy in a cavernous nightclub where there's all different types of acts, and it's not just comedy. It was like one big marathon of performers, which is never kind of a good situation. And then the audience, they were not an audience. They were scattered all around at the first level, the different level of the nightclub. So they were extremely rude, extremely unattentive, but the host didn't know how to grab them. So, I mean, it was kind of the audience's fault, the producer's fault. But anyway, it was just really painful. The first act they put on was this girl who was strumming guitar. Nobody was listening to her. She was kind of singing like Jewel, you know, all the rainbows in the sky. Everybody's like, yeah, pass me the hit. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, as a performer, it was frustrating because it's like, I have to follow this. I have to go up after this. So it was that girl, then it was a guy, and he did no better, and then it was my turn. And by this time, I was angry. I was angry. And that, angry with six glasses of vodka plus this energy agent who knows if it's illegal anymore. I got on the microphone, and I was like, oh, y'all need to shut the fuck up. I went berserk. I was like, miss, you shut your mouth or I'm going to reach in my purse, pull out this dildo, and ram it up your ass. It was like the most horrible things you could say. It was horrible. And the audience was just like, and the producer was mad. He was mad. And so it was like almost supposed to be like Soul Train. Like the host was going to be like Don Cornelius. Like after your act, you were supposed to be interviewed in this room filled with people who didn't give a shit. And so after I finished this, I was like, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed my set. And so like, okay, Nikki, time for your interview. I was like, nah, I ain't doing no interview. And so I left. I had on these high heel shoes, and I left the venue. I didn't even stay for the rest of the show. And I was like, fuck this shit. And then I saw Trader Joe's, and I was like, you know what? I want to go grocery shopping. And I go into the Trader Joe's. I shop for all, it wasn't even like 1 or 2 things. This is like late at night. I shop for all this stuff. I have high heel shoes on. I have all these heavy bags. I come out and just bust my face on the concrete.
Oh my God.
It was, my teeth were shattered. It was horrible. And so I was like, call my friend Paul. Oh, my teeth are messed up. So he came over. He's like, okay, we're going to find you like an emergency dental person. And I had to go to the dentist. I had to pay almost $3,000 out of pocket to get my teeth fixed.
Oh, man.
It was just, that has to be. I want to see somebody that can top that for the worst show.
You know, Nicky,
that guy doesn't even talk to me anymore. The producer of the show, he has something called like the local network or something. He won't even talk to me because I'm just embarrassed him so badly.
Nicky, what I like about you is when you go big.
Oh yeah.
You go big.
Oh yes.
Tim might be running a close second for bad show. I don't know.
Tim.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I'm saying. What show you talking about?
I've heard
in Boston.
They're used to be.
Blades.
Do you guys remember a comedian named Lily Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
I heard that he like drop kicked an audience member in the chest and had to like run out of the venue or something. That's pretty crazy too. But anyway, Tim.
That almost happened to me, man. I was at Slade's in Boston, and oh man.
Oh, I know Slade's.
Yeah. Slade. I never had a good set. That's all I know what you're talking about. When your first certain joke don't work, and this dude they just start talking over you. You just on stage saying words, and everybody else having their own conversations. You know what I'm saying? So there was one particular girl that looked and she said something. She was defending her friend I said something to. And she just walked up to the stage and started jabbering. And I'm like eating her ass up. And she just jabbering. I mean, and we just both back and forth. And she getting mad. And I'm just like, I'm looking around like, is somebody going to get her? I mean, you know what I mean? I'm saying I'm only going to get meaner. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, well, I thought we was going to have to fight. I was like, girl, get your chicken wings. After you get off there, we just go right out.
Right out.
I was shook because we were riding together. They knew we were together. I had to go
you were
after
the
him.
witnesses?
Yes, I was shook. I was like, oh my God, I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen to me when I got on stage. Woo.
Oh my God.
But Kim went it right after me. But Kim did well enough to calm the crowd. Kim did good. And it calmed the crowd down and everything and, all that. But you know what I'm saying?
That room is very intimidating. And one of the biggest intimidations is Jonathan Gates, because I've never seen somebody so aggressive. Everybody shut the fuck up. We're going to pray now.
Right.
We're going to pray. And
Right.
then he'll have like a shirt on that'll be like, I eat my wife's ass. And it's like, all right, bow your head. It's just like, this is surreal. This is surreal for me.
Let me just be clear. I love John. I'm going to tell you that.
No, I love him.
Say that now.
I know I'm not. I'm just saying that is very funny. But I love John. Nobody does it like him, but I love John because he's, when he's down for you, he's down for you. Like he's everything. Like I just am so grateful to God for him. But that is funny as fuck because he does have t-shirts like that. He does have t-shirts.
But that's what he does. Or pray like, yo, Sister Hattie Mae lost everything in the fire.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Let's pray because you don't know when it's going to be you. You know what I'm saying? Now give it up for your first comedian. And I'm like, I'm still in mourning over here.
Right. And that's where I met Sam J. The comedian Sam J.
Yeah.
I guess maybe she did a lot of sets there, but I first met her there. So God bless Jonathan Gates. He's on the radio now at a station in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
John, he's everything, man. I love John.
That's pretty bad, Tim. I hope you didn't get hurt.
No. We made it. I'm saying like, but I get it. You know what I mean? It's just that room is always, that room is like my white buffalo. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm going to do well in that room. I'm going to do well in that room before I die.
Now it's got all that hanging all over it.
Right.
The fear that goes around Slades.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
But they got the best wings. Let me be clear about that.
The wings.
Isn't that chicken a little abnormally large, though?
Yes, it is. It's very scary, but it's
chicken wings are not real chicken wings.
I think they're like turkey wings.
Well, no, it's some bullshit, but we love it. It's great. It's very great.
Nikki, what about your best show? Like, what is the greatest time that you've had on stage? Can you even think of that?
The greatest time that I've had on stage. I mean, I've had some pretty great times with my one person show, but I've done so much hosting. I used to have a room on 8th Avenue, and it was a playwrights club.
Yeah.
And it was called Time to Shine. And it was just fun because, you could just say what you wanted. And sometimes a lot of people would come and sometimes they wouldn't. But, you just say a lot of off the cuff things. I really enjoyed that. And I also like the shows that I used to do a long time ago with Broads of Broadway. And it was with Yamanika Saunders,
nice,
and Del Harrison, and it was like an all women's lineup. And we went on the road a couple times. We went to Amish country once. Wow, kind of crazy. That was fun. So it's been so many good times. Not necessarily that I got paid well, but I tend to remember the kind of worst things because we tend to kind of gravitate towards the negative, our memories.
Yeah.
So I remember more bad than good, unfortunately. I went all the way to Watertown, New York. Do you know where that is?
Oh.
Watertown, New York is on the border of Canada.
Oh, wow.
I won't say who the booker is. It was a 5-hour bus ride from New York City for like $150. It was so stupid. When I got up there, I couldn't even get a hold of the producer. The people at the venue were like, "Oh, this show isn't happening here anymore." I didn't even know what to do. I wound up, because the bus depot closed. You know how you can stay in Greyhound like all night long? I mean, I know that. Maybe Tim does too. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Yeah, but not in Watertown, apparently.
You have nowhere to go. You just hang out at Greyhound until, you know, your bus comes or whatever. Their bus depot closed. So I had nowhere to go until, you know, so I wound up riding around with these Hasidic real estate guys that they went around checking on the properties. I don't know. They were just like, "Hey, the bus is closed. You want to hang out with us?" And I said, "Okay."
Oh my gosh.
So it was so weird.
Anyway, you're so lucky that you were safe. Oh my
God. I've put my life in danger a lot.
Wow.
It's a wonder that I'm here. So,
did you ever find the show? Did you ever?
Well, what happened was they called me. Finally, the producer called me right when I was getting back on the bus to go back to New York City, because I was like, forget it. It was like the soldiers are coming home type of show.
Oh.
So I was real pumped. But after riding around with these guys all day, and they were like, "Oh no, they moved it. They moved it to the Best Western." I was like, forget it. I'm going home. Forget it, because I don't even feel like doing it anymore.
That's so
funny.
funny.
Pretty horrible.
That would have been an angry show too, probably.
Probably. I would have lost more teeth at that one.
Oh man, and Watertown.
Let me ask you about your one-woman show. Let's go back to that. Like, what could somebody expect in that? Like, you know, if you would, you know, what, you know, I had never seen your one-woman show. So if I told you I was coming, what would I expect in that show?
Well, I guess what you would expect is to be taken on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
So it is really a true story of, you know, what happened when I got to New York, and you could expect to meet a lot of different people, because Tracy Ullman was always like an inspiration for me. I always loved Tracy.
Love her.
With all her different things that she does. And so that's pretty much what I do with my show. I introduce you to all these people. I tell you how I got started in this business. And you can expect some real shit. You're like, you know, some bad things, to see some drama, some bad things happen, and really to be uplifted at the end, So, yeah, but I like it. It's a good show. I look forward to when I can do it again, honestly.
Have you ever thought of recording it and you know, putting it on as a special somewhere?
I did record it, and the guy that recorded it for me, was a 2-camera shoot. And on one of the cameras, his other cameraman didn't turn the light on. So you see me on the stage at times, and it's like washed out. And I tried to shoot it another time at a studio, and it was a disaster. The only way that I would record it, if it would be really good production, because it doesn't do the story justice when it's not good recording, because it cheapens the experience, and it makes it look amateurish if it's done well. So I kind of shied away from it. I was actually approached by West Side Comedy Club to kind of do something with them, but I thought to myself, I can't do this story justice on like a Zoom show, or it's not the right production. That I don't want to do it. So,
well, whenever you're ready to take some audience members, I'm coming. I'm gonna come watch you.
Too.
I'm a member of a theater on the Lower East Side, and
Okay.
it's called WOW. It's WOW's Women's Cafe, and it's pretty much a theater for women and trans and lesbian people. So it's a safe space where you can put on your own productions. You pay a fraction of what you would pay for a theater anywhere else, and they help you. You don't have to pay for a lighting person. They all do it like they call it sweat equity. If I help you on your show, then you have to help me on my show. So I was able to produce my show several times in that space for almost next to nothing. So
that's so cool.
And any woman can join. If you're sorry, Tim, any woman, any trans, any person that identifies as lesbian or other, your first meeting, you're actually a member, and it's called Wow Cafe Theater. So
Awesome.
Do the productions have to be all female?
no,
Okay.
the productions do not have to be all female.
And is it open during COVID or no?
No, because they're closed for the rest of the season, just because they need multiple members, all hands on deck to help with the production, and they just felt like it's not really safe right now to operate and have audiences come into the space, because it's not a huge theater. It probably seats maybe 75 to 80, 90 people. So it's small. So we want to be safe. So for the rest of 2020, we're not open.
Yeah. What have you been doing during COVID? Like, how has your life been?
Oh, how has my life been? Well, it's been I take care of my mother-in-law. So that is something that's different, because before COVID, during the day, I was working in the schools, in the New York City schools. And then after COVID hit, I worked the rest of the school year from Zoom, but this year I just chose not to go back. So I help to take care of my mother-in-law, and I also do a lot of auditioning at home. I have a home studio.
Cool.
So I do a lot of voiceover projects. I did a project for Apple News. I do a lot of e-learning type of explainer videos, documentary videos and stuff from home. So I do my voiceover stuff and take care of my mother-in-law during the day. And with comedy, since COVID, I don't know what happened, and I would be interested to hear from other comedians. I don't know if I just hit a brick wall. I was really writing my book before COVID hit. And then once COVID hit, I just kind of went into like a creative block. I don't know if it's, sometimes the need, like, oh, I have a big show. I got to write. I got to do this. I got to organize. Like, there's no real pull or immediacy for me to really be creative during this time. I just have a block. I wish I could be a little more motivated, because now we have a lot more time, a lot of us, to do different things. But maybe I'm just in a creative funk. I don't know.
I think that the world had an impact on us. Like, that was like traumatic for me, at least. Like, I'm not going to be so hard on myself about, not being able to create or not wanting to or feeling whatever. Cause I was vacillating every day from one extreme to the next, like, cause the shit was crazy. And it's still crazy. Like and the civil rights movement of 2020, like, holy shit. Like, this shit is crazy out here.
Yeah.
That's my part-time job, is watching the news. I watch ABC News I'm like, I've turned 75, like 6:30, ABC News. It's just like, calm down. Then after that, I have all these other news sources, and I'm a news junkie. It's like, 7 o'clock, 2020. So I'm just wanting to be informed. But absolutely, Kim, just like looking at everything, like, I was in marvel, almost astonishment, watching the events unfold and all the protests erupt across the country. It was just like I was stuck in wonder, like, wow, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's daily looking at your news feed too. It's so, like, I think I got like PTSD or some shit. Like, it was every day somebody was dying. It was just felt, and I didn't even know the people, but it impacted me like as if they were in my family. Like, it just, I was on an emotional roller coaster. Everything was so turbulent, still is. Like, we don't even know how the election's going to unfold. So I feel like, I don't know if I can compare it to anything, but it feels like, we're floating or whatever. I'm unsettled. So how can you, and sometimes people look to comedy. I don't know if you're like that, for solace. Maybe it helps, to spread joy and laughter, but I just feel like
I hear that. Yeah.
Heavy.
I feel like the biggest thing, and whatever you're gonna do, if you're trying to be productive, is to come up with some type of routine. And if you don't have a routine for writing or routine to be creative, then you're just not gonna do it, I don't think. I mean, some people write when the inspiration hits them, like, oh, let me jot this down. And sometimes I do that, but I feel like, you know, if you really set aside time to say, you know what, I'm going to journal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to journal every day for X amount of time, just like exercise. I'm going to at least try to do 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but routines help me. But if I don't have a routine, then I'm not as productive, unfortunately.
Well,
That is,
go ahead.
no, that's just, I was just going to co-sign with that. That's 100% true.
Well, I think, like for me, like, you know, as far as this COVID, you know, time is like money. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when you don't have a lot of time, you're more productive with it. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have a lot of money, you're more productive. Like, I got to pay rent. I got to get groceries. I need gas in my car for the week. Now you got all this time because, you know, ain't nothing open and nothing. You're like, I'll get to it. You know what I'm saying? I done power watch 5 shows this week. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, I'm going to get this. I'm still trying to edit this video that I took in Ohio when I was there, you know, with my drone. I'm like, you know what, I'll get to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Like, I got so much time, you know, that it's too much. You know what I mean? It's like when you have money, you don't value it. Like,
Yeah,
buy stuff like drones and sneakers every week and stuff like that.
you know, I get it.
Hello. Is that where all the money's going? God damn.
Drones and sneakers.
And wigs.
And wigs,
Oh yeah,
Wigs.
Sure.
and weed. You know what I mean? We all got we all got our vices on here.
It's true though. It's true. I think this weekend, especially for some reason, I have not moved from the couch with the exception of today when I had that little freak out in my closet, which I won't go into right now, but mostly just watched, I don't know how much I've watched now I was watching only Greenleaf for a really long time.
Oh yeah, I used to love that show. I haven't seen this season, but that was the only show my husband and I would watch.
Yeah, I put off season 5 just because I'm holding on, but I know I'll probably forget about it if I don't watch it at some point. But just watching all these other things, Lovecraft Country, which I don't recommend if you get scared of stuff, but because there's just like a lot of monsters and things. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of us are just sitting here watching TV and maybe not writing as much or finding reasons not to. I don't know. But I admire you because I think that, you know, you still put out great product when, you know, and you're doing your show on the radio and you're doing by the way, AARP, like you can't be that old, but I know they've just elected me as a member of theirs. So whether I like it or not. So I'm going to be.
Have they?
Oh, yes.
You don't look a day over 35.
You're very, very, neither do you.
Hard where the sun don't shine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I can't wait to take you to Dunkin' Donuts and get that 10%
Get
discount.
the senior discount. I'm with sisters. When people ask me are you with AARP yet? I'm like, I'm sisters. Yeah, I'll read
ask
sisters.
you that?
What's that?
Is that like a topic of conversation? That's what we're asking people now. By the way, are you with AARP now?
People that know my age.
Oh.
People that know my age, they ask me. But now I'll be watching what is it called? Disrupt
Aging, yeah.
Disrupt Aging. I'm gonna be watching that.
I think it's once a month. I'm not even a good spokesperson. I don't even know what day is coming out. It's once a month on a Wednesday. Don't ask me which Wednesday it is. Just go to my Facebook. I'll put it there.
Go to my Facebook.
You know, marketing can be stressful. You just want to be a part of the creative process, and that's it, right?
But you know, it's interesting that we're talking about marketing and stuff like that. I feel like with my social media also, like, I don't feel like doing it. It's like, I should be doing this and I should be, it's just like, nah, I don't really want to expose my life to too many people right now, you know, because I work in a diner now. It's called My Kitchen. And I have there's nothing glamorous about seeing me make these meals for these people that live with me.
I think this is an opportunity for Cook and Reel. I just do.
You know,
this is a moment.
Danielle, I tell Danielle I'm the deadbeat dad of the duo because she's always like, I'm producing another video and a how-to thing. And she's like, why don't you do some videos? I'm like, nah, I don't want to. No, go to McDonald's and review the spicy nuggets. Nah. It's like, for some reason, I just feel like hiding or something. I want to expose myself a little more, but I just have like some type of block. I don't know.
Well, let us pray. No, we're going to hope that you come out of that soon because we love you.
I need to. Thank you so much. And doing shows like this, it encourages me because honestly, I'm living from moment to moment. And I've even forgotten, like, oh yeah, I did have a one-woman show. I did do this and that. Yeah, I really should keep doing this comedy thing. Yeah, I remember Slade. I even forgot I went to Slade's. I forget about that. I don't even, like, oh yeah, I am a comedian. Let me try to write some comedy and do that again. So.
Do you ever feel like you've done so much like cool stuff in your life that you can't remember it all? Like, yeah, like you look back and be like, I did all, like you see your Facebook memories and be like, I did this and that.
Yes. I've done so many different things in a short period of time. Not saying that all of them were successes, because if they were successes, I'd be talking to Robin Roberts and not you guys. But I feel like I've done so many different things and so many different shows. And when you're meeting so many different people, it really becomes kind of like a blur. Think about all the comedians,
Oh, yeah.
Average people don't meet this many people and then kind of be really intimate with them. There's an intimacy that you share with someone as a performer. Like, I haven't been in Kim's presence a whole bunch of times, but I feel a connection to her and I feel like I know her because we kind of shared this moment together. And to be able to have that connection with so many different people, it really is. It's a special thing that you can't take for granted because a lot of people can't say that.
Oh, I hope it helps you. I feel connected to you too. Yeah, that's what's up. We always have a good time when we.
Yeah. Fun. It's real cool.
I hope it helps you feel less alone. But you should also know that you can be an honorary part of our crew whenever you like, whenever you need to be reminded, and come back whenever you want.
Yay! I like the quarantine call-in show.
Just give us your phone number and we'll just, tell you want to have a funny day.
Don't put your phone number out there. Somebody tried to FaceTime me from an unknown number at like 11:30 at night. I'm like, cool. No. I am eating ice cream and I have a headscarf on. I'm not answering this.
And it is a Tuesday. And it is a Tuesday.
And it's a Tuesday.
So you know what I'm doing with that ice cream.
4 touchdown for 10. Call back.
My boyfriend.
So listen, I do want to say this before we get off. I just want to take it back to something real quick. You said, and you was talking about your experience and the time you felt like you wasted.
Yeah.
Going back. But if, the way I look at things like that is if you never went through those things, you would have never been where you are now. You know what I'm saying? Because look how many people listen to like rap music and think they gangsters because they never been on that side to where, you know what I mean? Of, actually like they're talking about the glamorous side of it. But they're never talking about were you actually out in the cold for 5 hours and only made $100. You know what I'm saying? Or you getting shot at, or you getting robbed, or you watch people die and they're never talking about the downside of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you had to go through, what you went through, to get here. So, I don't ever look at it as time wasted. You know what I'm saying?
It all has to go back, to a spiritual, foundation, and I really do believe God brought me out of what I was in, and I don't even have to I could be dead. So when I think back like, oh man, I could be a millionaire if I just did that and that back in 2007, it's like, no, I'm where I am. Things happen for a reason. And you just have to be grateful, have an attitude of gratitude, and keep putting one foot in front of the other and push yourself to be the best person that you can be. And that's it. And I am blessed. I never thought I would be married. I'm married. I have a family and, hopefully, more blessings will come my way, but I feel good where I am. And I'm happy to be still on, because it's not over, this comedy journey and this journey called life. So let's just keep moving forward.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And we've been blessed to have you. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, for sure. I was just going to say, Tim, let me find out, the downside of being a gangster. What's that?
Yeah, you got the downside of being a gangster, Tim?
Hey, I wasn't always a comedian.
Standing out in the cold, making $100 and something. Wait, what?
I think that needs to be our next show. I think that's going to just be about Tim.
I thought Tim was on Drug Inc. and he had on like a furry hat over.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from Ohio. That wasn't a furry hat. That was a perm, man. That was a conch.
Yo, she's good with the snaps, man. She's good. She's real good.
Love it. Love it.
It was a pleasure, Nikki. We love you so much, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Congratulations on your show. This is nice. Keep pushing it. Keep pushing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So everybody, thank you to Nikki Sunshine. It's the Quarantine Call-In Show. We'll see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Good night.
Any U.S. citizen returning to the United States will be subject to up to 14 days of mandatory quarantine.
We got that vaccine, third eye clean, we Visine. Dancing off the top rope, we Dougie off them high beams. Running hard like track meets, debutantes in back seats. 9 cents for clear peas, my piss desperate vibes. Double parks on planet Mars, they surf the net, we surf the stars. Quarantine in Zanzibar, breathing on the masses.